Hey guys, so for today's video, I thought I would tell you guys one of the many stories that I told you guys I had for you. I actually mentioned this story or prefaced this story in my sorority experience thus far video. If you have not seen that already and you guys are interested in hearing about my sorority experience thus far at Stony Brook University, I will link that down below for you guys to check it out. But I mentioned that one of the driving forces behind me joining Greek life was the fact that my roommate got kicked out of my room and I was forced to live with girls who did not like me. So for today's video, I thought that I would tell that story since it's one that I already prefaced, and in my mind, I would like to think that you guys are interested in hearing about it. So that is what I'm going to do today. Also, I'm not wearing any makeup. I didn't really have any will to put any makeup on, but I wasn't going to let that laziness affect my channel, so I still am going to film just with no makeup on, so I hope you guys don't mind that. So before we get into it, of course, I have to remind you guys, if you have not done so already, head on down there and subscribe. You guys know I always appreciate the love and support that I get from you guys. And give this video a thumbs up if you like my storytelling and would like to hear some of the other stories I have, including the time I almost got abducted, the story about how I met my boyfriend, and I even want to share with you guys some of my most embarrassing stories. That's how committed I am to you guys. But anyway, with all that being said, I guess we should just get on with the video. So I remember the exact date that this incident happened, A, because I looked it up, and B, because it was National Vodka Day. So me and my roommate at the time, I'm also not going to say names just because I don't know if these people want their names attached to this story, so I'm going to try and make it as easy to follow and understand without using names. Me and my roommate at the time were at our friend's dorm, and I was scrolling through Twitter, and that's when I realized it was National Vodka Day. So I texted one of my friends back home, like, hey, it's National Vodka Day, come through to Stony Brook. And I didn't really think that he would say yeah. He said yes. He said he was going to bring two of his friends, one of which I already met before. So they also lived in Jersey, so I was still really surprised by this. So they came from Jersey to Long Island, and then all three of them came from where he lived to Stony Brook, and that was about an hour drive. In that hour, me and my roommate went back to my room, and she told me that she had some homework to do, so she was going to do it while the festivities of the night were underway. So the boys arrived, and they brought a plethora of alcohol. I think they brought Ciroc, Smirnoff, things aside from vodka. They broke the rules. They brought wine, I'm pretty sure, and beer. So we get to drinking. We pulled the table in between all of us. We were all sitting around the couch. My roommate was doing homework off to the side, and we got a deck of cards. I actually had to run across campus to one of my friend's dorms to get this deck of cards from him because I really wanted to play Kings. If you don't know what Kings is, it's basically a drinking game where every number or face of the card has a meaning, and you have to do what the card says. You have to be you can't be the last one to do what the card says, or you're forced to drink. And there's also other mini games in it, Never Have I Ever, categories, rhyming, waterfall drinking. It's basically a game designed to get you extremely drunk. So on National Vodka Day, what other kind of game are you gonna do? So we started playing Kings, and I think within the first hour, most of the guys were annihilated. I mean, I think I was pretty drunk, but I think I had class the next morning. The guys didn't have class, so I kind of had to hold myself back to some extent because I was like, girl, you have to wake up for class tomorrow. So the night gets underway, and the girls who were home at the time were two of my roommates that lived in one room and one of the roommates that lived in another room. I also mentioned that I live in a suite style room where it was me and my roommate, two girls that my roommate knew from back home, and three other girls that we kind of met and made a room with. Also, a bit of a backstory, the two girls that my roommate knew from back home, there was already some beef prior to us moving into school, so that tension kind of carried over into our dorm, and that's kind of what also affected this incident happening. So the actual specific girl that my roommate had a lot of beef with was out with one of the other girls. So it was three of my other suite mates who were home, and one came out and she was like, hey, you guys are kind of being loud, we have class in the morning, can you keep it down? I was like, yeah, of course, no problem. So a few hours go by, and of course we get a little hungry, so the guys offer to buy us Domino's, and they're like, why don't you go ask the girls if they're still awake, if they want anything. It could be our peace offering, we feel bad for being loud. So I go in, I ask the girls, do you guys want Domino's? They all say no thank you. The guys still felt really bad about being noisy and disturbing them, so they actually decided to write apology notes and slip them under the door. Hold on. I'm waiting for someone to get here to work on our bathroom, so that's why I keep getting up and checking to make sure he's not waiting outside. But yeah, they actually wrote apology notes and slipped them under the door. That's how bad they felt about the noise. So a few hours later, we were very drunk. I think the friend I invited from back home actually threw up spinach in the sink and I had to clean it out with my hands. It's not the funnest experience ever, but hey, friends do what friends gotta do. And at this point, the girl that my roommate had beef with and the other roommate had come home and they were high. You could just tell. My roommate at the time was in the room and I was in the living room with the two girls and the guys, and one of the guys had asked the girl, "How do you know blank?" and said my roommate's name. So then the girl responded, "Oh, I know blank from," and my roommate in her mind thought that this girl was saying something bad about her. So in her drunken thoughts, she comes tearing out of the bedroom and gets in this girl's face. Now, me and the other girl who was high just sit there and we're just like staring, looking around like, is this really happening right now? It had to be like 1 o'clock in the morning or maybe even 2. We're staring at each other like what do we do? How do we stop this? The girls both get in each other's faces like this close to each other and are like screaming at each other, calling each other all kinds of names. Two of the guys, my friend that I actually invited, tried to like pull my roommate off the other girl. The other guy like gets in the middle of them. Me and the other girl are just sitting there and we're like, I can't do anything. Have fun fighting. So my guy friends were able to like successfully pull them off of each other. But that was after, I'm pretty sure my roommate smacked the other girl or the other girl smacked her. Someone got a hit in. There were, of course, words exchanged and like pushing and all that kind of stuff. So at that point, the guys were like, okay, enough is enough. I think it's time for us to leave. So they packed up their things. They said goodbye. I thanked them for the alcohol. I thanked them for the good time because it was fun up until that point. And I was like, I will text you tomorrow and fill you in on what happens. I honestly thought nothing was going to happen from it. So me and my roommate went in our room and just went to sleep. Unbeknownst to us, the girl she got in the fight with actually went down to the RA's room and told her the entire incident that happened and then came back up and went to sleep. So I'm pretty sure this was like a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, because I know we were leaving for Cortland like the following Friday. So the next day we get an email from the RAs and basically, sorry, I got a text. So we were leaving for Cortland the next Friday, and the next morning we received an email from the RA basically telling us that we had to come to a hearing to explain our sides of things, that the girl had reported my roommate for fist fighting her and it was an act of bullying, and because of that there was zero tolerance. So I remember going to this hearing, saying my side of things. We had to rush out of there to catch the train to go to Queens to go up to Cortland. So honestly, I really wasn't taking it that seriously. Like, no one got physically hurt. Like, maybe someone got smacked in the side of the head, but to me it wasn't that big of a thing. Like, I've gotten worse fights in high school and we all walked out there fine. So we returned home from our weekend at Cortland. That is a whole nother story. Anyway, we returned home from our week from Cortland and we had gotten an email with our sanctions or our decision on what we had to do because of the incident. I basically just had to do a little online class about binge drinking because I was the one who brought the alcohol into the room and I was drunk. I also had to write a 500-word essay on why you can't have people over who aren't registered. I never told the school I was having these guys over with, so it was having unregistered guests, which is against the rules. So I had to write an essay on that. But at the bottom of my roommate's email, it said new room assignment, a name of a building and a room. And she was like, did you get a room assignment? I was like, no, why? Did you? She's like, yeah, I have to move out. And I honestly was shocked. I really didn't think it was going to go that far. So long story short, the following week, my roommate had to move out. We had to enlist our guy friends to come help us move all her crap across campus. And she basically moved out and I was left to live with girls who didn't like me for the sole fact that I took my roommate's side. Of course I'm going to take my roommate's side. I mean, I was kind of responsible for what happened that night. It was my friends. It was my idea. It was basically my alcohol because my friends brought it. So it was kind of my fault as to what happened. So of course I'm going to take her side in things. I mean, she was my only friend at Stony Brook at the time. So the girls went the rest of the semester and most of next semester really not liking me. They were extremely mean to me. They were rude to me when they saw me in the room. I really never left my room. I kind of was confined to my bedroom. I never sat in the living room. I only went to the bathroom if no one was in there. I didn't want to cross anyone's paths and I didn't want to interact with anyone. They just didn't like me. So because of that, I had a lot of anxiety. I had trouble sleeping. I was super unhappy. And a few months after the incident, we went home for winter break. And then after winter break, we returned back to school. And basically, my mom could see how unhappy and how unhealthy I was. And she told me that if at the end of 2 weeks, I was still feeling that strongly that I was not happy in that room, she was just going to pull me out of school. So if you guys want to see what happens after all of this is said and done, you guys can head over to my sorority experience thus far video, because this really was the driving force that kind of pushed me to go through with formal recruitment. It was during that 2-week period that my mom said to wait the second semester, and it was going to be the deciding factor if I was to leave or not. So if you guys want to hear about all the aftermath, you can head over to my sorority experience video. Like I said, I'll link that one down below for you guys. And that's basically why my roommate got kicked out. She fought a girl over miscommunication because she was drunk on National Vodka Day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this was one of the shorter ones, but it was one that I prefaced, and I kind of wanted to start with something small with my storytelling. I think the carpenter is here, so I have to end the video right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give it a like or a big thumbs up if you guys want to hear more of my stories. I definitely will do that for you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.